Hello, hello, crafty friends. Stacy here with week 8, the final week of my 8-week Christmas card making series. I am so thankful for everybody that stuck around and watched all my videos. And if you haven't seen the prior 7 weeks, you'll find the whole playlist on my YouTube channel. So my last video is going to be a twofer. 2 cards using 1 piece of DSP 6x6. So this was a 12x12 piece of DSP. This is the Traditions of Christmas, but I cut it down to 6x6. So truly out of a 12x12, you can make 8 cards, right? So this is just using a 6x6. I know a lot of you have 6x6 DSP out there, and I'm making this Christmas theme, but you can also adapt this for any sentiments that you want, birthday, what have you. So I'm going to also show you how to cut 2 cards super quick out of one 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So lots of fun things I have for you. We're going to do a little bit of heat embossing today. And as always, down in the description, you can find your tutorial that has pictures, cutting guide, assembly, everything that we're going to go over today. So don't worry, you don't have to write anything down. I'll go over some quick measurements, but everything is truly in the tutorial. So let's take a look at these cards. There's so much shine on these cards with this DSP and the gold, and I did some gold heat embossing. So sorry for the glare there, but super cute card, right? And then look, a surprise inside. A few years ago, I saw this, a fellow demonstrator had done, so I've done it so many times and I wanted to recreate it using this DSP. I think it came out absolutely gorgeous. Just a super simple accordion fold card. So you're going to make these 2 cards. You're going to use, like I said, 1 piece of DSP. So pick out your DSP. You're going to need an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. That's going to be for your 2 card bases. And then in your tutorial, you are going to have just a few other cuts. So you need colored cardstock. So I'm using Real Red. I have mine out to the side. You'll see here, these are my bases there. I'm using Real Red. And then you need a few pieces of just white cardstock, and that will complete everything you need to make these 2 cards. So let me move this out of the way. And I'm first going to show you how super simple, if you want to cut 2 card bases quickly. This is what we're going to call this card 2 and this card 1. So I'm going to move card 2 out of the way. So you want to bring in your paper trimmer. Okay, and then you are going to score at 4 1/4. Remember, our trimmer blade has the dark blade, that is your cutting blade, and then the lighter blade, that is your scoring tool. So you want to score down on the 8.5 side, you want to score right down the middle at 4 1/4. Okay, then you're going to turn your paper, and on that 11-inch side, you're going to cut this at 5 1/2. So then you're left with 2 card bases, right? There you go. 2 card bases. Let me zoom out. So you have 2 card bases. Awesome. So I'm going to just take my bone folder, and we are going to put one of these card bases aside for card 2, and then we're going to use this card base here for card 1. Now, we're going to bring in our paper trimmer again, and we are just going to cut off on our front flap 1/2 of an inch. Nope. That was a quarter. Okay, so 1/2 of an inch. So let me bring that up so you can see this is Secret C, so it's a dark cardstock. See how it's just uneven here now? Don't worry. All right. So I just dropped my scoring blade fell out, but that's okay. No, it's not okay. I do need it for card 2. Where did it back up? Here it is. Okay. Well, sucker got away from me. All right. So now we're going to bring in that piece of 6x6 DSP. When you get into your tutorial, let me show you on the last page here. Okay. This has the pattern paper with coordinates with these colors here. And then here's those cardstock and the white again repeated. But what you want to focus on is see the start, and these are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so they coordinate. Yellow is 1/4 by 6. Purple right here is 1/2 by 5.5. Aqua right here is 3.5 by 5.25, and so on. So you want to start here. So this is your 6x6 DSP. So I'm going to keep this here so I can follow along. So I have my DSP. This is my 6x6. So I am going to, hold on. Let me get my other trimmer because I like this trimmer for when I'm doing my smaller cuts here. Okay, so number 1 is 1/4. So you're going to line this up at your 1/4 and you're going to cut a piece off and you're going to put it to the side. So here is cut 1. Okay. Then following along, the next is 1/2. So you bring on that same side down to 1/2 and you're going to cut 1/2. You're going to move your paper off to the side. This piece now you want to trim down to 5.5. Okay, so you're just going to take a little smidge off that, and this is scrap, so you can just throw that away. Here's cut 2. Okay, you're going to come back in with your paper. Now we're going to rotate it. Okay, so cut 3 is 3.5. So you're going to go to the 3.5, and you're going to trim this now at 3. Yep, 3.5. There's cut 3. And now cut 4 is 1.25. And then the next one is the same, 1.25. So those evenly cut. So that is how you cut your DSP. So let me bring them back in. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, and here's 5. Okay? Now, one more little cut we're going to make is we're going to take this piece right here. So you're going to move these 4 out of the way. You're going to take this piece. This is 6 inches. You're going to trim that down at 3 inches, so you have 2 equal parts at 3 inches. Okay, just like that. All right, and now I will tell you which cards these go to, and it does tell you in your directions. So okay, so this number 1 goes to card 1. I have my piles off to the side. Number 2 goes to card 1. Number 3 goes to card 1. And number 4 and 5 go to card 2. Okay? All right. So now I'm going to bring back in card 1 here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Here's card 1, and I'm going to bring in my card base. So we have that little strip here. And let's bring in all of our pieces. And that is where this 1/2 piece, 1/2 inch is going to go. It covers and fills that in perfectly. All right, so let me bring in, let's start putting all this together. Shall we? Yes, we shall. Okay. I'm going to move I'm going to show you all my DSPs and then the other pieces that we're using for this card. I did cut out using Garden Green 2 dies, and that is from Christmas Greenery dies. So if you have this in your stash, that's where I got those 2 holly leaves out of. For my sentiments also, if you may have these in your stash, I'm using Greetings of the Season. That's where I got It's the Most Wonderful Time of Year stamp. And then I'm using traditional labels for the Merry Christmas. So I wanted to show you that. Okay, so here's my real red, and I have my white pieces of cardstock. And then I'm using this gorgeous gold ribbon. And that I already had gone ahead and made my bow because I hate making bows on camera, although I have to do it for card 2. We'll make it work. All right, so let's bring back our card base, and we're going to take this piece of DSP and we're just going to load that up with some adhesive, and you're just going to put that right on the edge. Perfectly fits just like that. Sweet. All right. So now we're going to take that bigger piece and we're going to put that on the inside. We never decorate the inside of the cards, right? And how beautiful is that right there? So you are going to put this piece on the inside. Love I think this might be my last piece out of the traditions of Christmas for this. I used it a lot. All right. These two are going to be stamping layers. So now I'm going to take that real red and I'm just going to eyeball and center that in the middle and adhere that to where I think it should go. Right there. Right about there looks good. Sweet. I'm going to come back in with my silicone mat and I'm going to take those two little strips and one's going to go on the top and one's going to go on the bottom. Do I want to use the reverse side maybe this time? I think I'm just going to do that. I'm going to use the reverse. I got a little bit of glue. So let me get that off. Let's use the reverse side today. So you're going to put one on the top. I'm just eyeballing this. And then one on the bottom. All right. Now we are going to move this out of the way and we're going to do some stamping. So for the inside is where we just have Merry Christmas and we used our Secret Sea ink for that. I already have my stamp loaded up here. And I like to stamp at the top, but you can stamp in the middle, however you'd like to do it. But sometimes I like to do stamping at the top. I love the font on this Merry Christmas. Love it. Okay, so now we can close this. And we want to just adhere that on the inside. I need to clean my stamp because I'm going to, am I using it? Yeah, I'm going to emboss with it on card too, so I got to clean that off. Okay, and we're just going to load this on the inside. I love how we have all the, that Secret Sea coming out. So it looks like it's matted. Beautiful. Hold on. Stick with me a second. Let me clean. Let me just get my scrubby here and clean my Merry Christmas because I'm going to need it for a card too. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to take this piece right here. I'm going to use an embossing buddy. There's different names for these. It's just those little pouches with powder in it. You always want to use one of these if you're going to do some heat embossing because then your embossing powder doesn't stick where it shouldn't. Okay, so I'm going to come in with my supplies that I use when I emboss. I always use a coffee filter so that it's easy to put back in. I have my Versamark ink. This is all juiced up. I added some juice in this recently. And I'm using, it's the most wonderful time of year, so I'm going to stamp that up in my Versamark. I have my heat tool right next to me. All right, so I want to do this right in the center. I apologize if my head gets in the way. I got to move this closer to me just so I make sure I'm in the center here. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to bring my coffee filter and I'm going to sprinkle the gold embossing powder all over it. Just dump a whole bunch, doesn't matter. Because nothing goes to waste. It all goes back in. And I like to just shimmy it around a little, make sure it gets in all the grooves, and then just dump it off. Tap, tap, tap. Beautiful. All right, so now we're gonna dump that back in so that when I turn on my heat gun, I don't have a mess, and get this out of the way. And I'm going to grab my third hand, which is my tweezers, my heat gun, and we will see magic. Sorry for the noise. There it goes. Sometimes you can do underneath. Perfect. So much shine. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, so now I am going to just to make it easier, I'm going to grab my foam tape. I'm going to put some foam tape on the back here. I wish Stampin' Up! Sold the foam tape. We have the 3D dimensional dots, which I love, but it's just so much quicker using tape, especially when I'm doing a video. Okay, I just want to get all my corners to make sure they get held down good. Okay, then we're going to take the backing off. And now I'm going to slightly angle this. See on this one how the red's poking out? I really like that. And we're going to angle this just like that. Perfect. All right, now I have that beautiful bow. I'm going to take a glue dot, which I have out somewhere. Here they are. I'm going to just put a glue dot on the back. And put that right in the corner. Pretty, pretty, pretty. All right, so now I'm going to take my holly leaves here, and actually I'm going to use a glue dot, another glue dot. So I'm going to put one at the tip. Perfect. And that's how I want to set these two up first. Just like that. All right, and they're going to hang off the edge there. So you can get some glue on the back of these. I'm going to use my tape runner. Just about a quarter of a way because the whole thing's not going to be on the card. And I'm just going to put them right about there. All right, then I have the traditional sparkling sequence, and I'm going to grab the large red one here and put it in the middle for berries. And then I'm going to take two small ones and put them each on the sides. Oh, sucker. Little slippery sucker got away. One there, and take another one. Actually, I want them off a little back. That one I put too far up. A little back. Perfect. Okay. And then I absolutely love these loose gold sequins. Look at, I hope we get these in silver. Love those. So I have this pickup tool and I have my liquid green glue. I'm going to make 3 dots. Oh, got a little yucky yuck coming out. 3 dots. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to come in with those sequins. Do a large one up top. And then smaller ones. These are so beautiful. There's a medium one. All right, let me move this out of the way so I do not make a mess. But there is card 1. How pretty. All right, so now we're going to move this out of the way and we are going to move on to card 2. So we're going to bring that card back in. I have my card base. I have green glue stuck on my finger, so I have to get it off. So again, this is just that accordion, super easy accordion fold, and we have our card base here. So now I need to come back in with my, and I lost, here it is, my scoring tool. I have to come in with my trimmer again because we need to score this front piece here. And if you look on your directions, it will tell you exactly where to do that. So we're going to score at 1.5. So you're going to score the front. Actually, we're going to turn it around this way. We're going to score at 1.5. And remember, you want to make sure you're using the lighter blue. Okay, so there is our score line at 1.5 in the front of our card. And all you're going to do is fold that forward. That makes that super easy accordion fold. Okay, just burnish that down. All right, let's do our stamping first. So we're going to come in with our pieces. So I have those 2 pieces of DSP. Here's my real red, two basic white for the inside. So one you can write more on if you want to write, or if you wanted to maybe put a gift card there. And then the other one you'll stamp on. And then this is our front. We're going to emboss Merry Christmas. So we're going to do the reverse on this card. We're going to have It's a Wonderful Time of the Year on the outside and Merry Christmas on the inside. I mean, you know what I mean. Opposite of what we did on card 1. Okay, so let's do our embossing. So we're going to get this piece. Again, let's repeat all the steps. We're going to come in with our embossing powder, and we're going to take our embossing buddy, and we're going to rub the powder all over that one piece. So here's where we're going to use that Merry Christmas. I love, love, love this font. I think I told you that already. We're going to load that up with some Versamark. As best in the center as you can get it. All right. We're going to sprinkle that embossing powder on this. If you're new here on my channel, welcome. I'd appreciate if you give me a like, subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere on Crafty Diva USA. I even have a CraftyDivaUSA.com store where I sell all my card kits, pre-made card kits, and instant downloadable tutorials. All right, so I'm going to come in again with my heat gun. I'm going to hold this. Tap, 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 make sure we got all the excess off. And let's heat this up. There you go. Sorry about the noise. So pretty. Okay, and then we're going to take one of these panels and we are going to stamp. It's the most wonderful time of year. Actually, I have to clean this because I had Versamark on that. Okay, we're going to stamp this now in our secret safe. Then we'll put this card together. Okay. Again, at the top, kind of centered. Sweet. Let's let that dry a second. Okay. Let's get these two out of the way. We can adhere this Merry Christmas down to the real red panel. Okay, set that off to the side. All right, now I'm going to come in with that card base. We're going to take one of those DSPs and put it right there. And then one's going to go on this flap right here. Okay, so we'll just adhere that down. We are almost finished. In December, I kind of slow down. I give myself a little grace for the holidays. Also going to be having a procedure myself done. So, you might not see so many videos from me in December, but everything will start back up in January with my monthly card class. I'll definitely be posting content and have challenges and whatnot in my private group on Facebook. So if you're not in my Facebook, actually, I want to flip this over because it looks like it's upside down. If you're not in my private Facebook group, you can find all the links in my About section. Okay. Beautiful, darling. Beautiful. Okay. So now we're going to open this up and we're going to take that panel that we didn't stamp on and put that over to the left. And then we're going to come in with the one we stamped on and put it over here to the right. Everything ran out. My seal ran out right before I went on. My other runner ran out. I have so many on my table, all my favorites. Okay, so now we're going to attempt to do a ribbon. And I'll show you what I did. Just makes it a little bit easier for myself. So I pull a whole bunch out. Okay. What I want to do is I'm going to put a little tiny piece of adhesive that's going to hold my ribbon in place, right? Maybe even put a little bit more here. It's just a little trick. And then we're going to put a little bit here. Okay. And then we want to cut enough off. I'm probably wasting so much. I definitely am, but it's the only way I'm going to make a bow. All right. Okay. We got to get a little bit more down. Let's put some adhesive on our ribbon. All right. So that holds it in place. It's like another hand, right? So that you could make the bow. All right. Perfect. So now you kind of want to make your bow a little bit down, right? So you come over and now it's not all flapping around because you have it kind of taped down. So you can maneuver a little, right? And it helps if you're using ribbon that's easier to work with. I was trying to do this with the ribbon that came with this set, and it has like it's a little thick and it wasn't working. And then I remembered I had this gold in my stash and I was like, beautiful, this matches perfect. I'm just going to keep pulling at it until I get it where I want. Why? I don't get what's happening here. Hold on. This is why I don't do bows on camera, but For this card, it has to be done this way. Oh, okay. It's good enough. I'm just pulling it tight and we're leaving this. Just pull tight and leave it. Okay. It's a bigger bow. Doesn't matter. Bows are beautiful. Snip your tails. Okay. Next. So I'm going to put some pop dots, dimensionals here. So I'm just kind of lining up my sentiments so I know where I can put those dimensionals. I'm just going to put a whole bunch of them. We'll say 5. Right? And then take the backing off. And then put your card in the front there, just like that. And now, to finish this card off, I see that little poinsettia. This is from another piece that came in that pack. It's smaller. See, it coordinates with the bigger one. So what I did, here's that paper actually. It's on this paper. I fussy cut one of the poinsettias out. So now all I'm going to do is put little dimensionals on the back of that. Just like that. And we'll put that right there in our card. Sweet. And then to finish it off, we're going to come back in with those loose gold sequins. And let's see, we are going to put a dot over here. And you want a large one. And then we're going to put 2 here, and we want 2 small ones. I love this little pickup tool. I got this in Amazon. If anybody is interested in this, let me know. I could send you the link. Okay. Am I done? Yeah, I'm done. That was it. Okay. So let's bring both of our cards back in. So here was card 1 that we made. Love it. And card 2, simple accordion fold. So we used 1 piece of 6x6 DSP, 1 piece of cardstock, made both of our card bases, and then 2 pieces of coordinating cardstock and a few pieces of basic white, which was about 3/4 of a sheet. And you got 2 beautiful cards out of this. So think of what you can do out of the 12x12. You can make this 8 times. Just cut your paper down 6x6. You'll have 4 6x6 panels, and then you can make these. So very super easy. And I think this paper was beautiful to do that with. So again, in the description is your tutorial. I hope you enjoyed all 8 weeks. Let me show you, if you just want to stick with me for a moment, I'll show you the other week. So this is week 8. We'll go backwards. All right, so this was week 7. Every other I did a gift card holder or a card. So we're going to work backwards. So this was 8 was card, then 7 was a gift card holder. Super easy. Everything was super easy in this Christmas series. Very easy, duplicatable, replicatable, and you can use this for any holiday. I did everything as Christmas. So now that was 7. So this was 6. Look at this. We did a floating strips technique. Beautiful. Again, I used that Traditions of Christmas. I used a lot of the same things throughout this. I used the Festive Friends a few times, Traditions of Christmas, so that if you just picked up a few different things, you got to make all of these with me. Okay, so that was a card, and then on to the gift card holder. This was week 5. This is actually made out of an envelope. So this is an envelope, and we had that pull out that you would attach your gift card to. All right. 8, 7, 6, 5. Week 4 was a fun card. This was Jar of Joy. Week 3, gift card holder again. And you would attach your gift card in the back or on the front. Week 2 was this super easy card design. Let me get it out of the paper here. So fun. We did lots of inking here, background stamping, and then stamped on the envelope. So that was week 2. And then week 1 was this fun gift card holder with this pull-out. So there you have it, my friends. Here's all my 8 weeks of my 8 weeks Christmas card making series. I hope you enjoyed this year. And again, give me a thumbs up, share my videos, and I appreciate all the love. And I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful holiday season. And I cannot believe we are almost at 2026. Take care, everyone.